Here we are again. After I did a flip through of this video, of this journal, I am here to tell you that it will be in my shop the day you see the video, which is Thursday, July 16th. It will be in my shop at 3 p.m. Eastern, and my shop is linked below. I'm sorry, it's early. I haven't had breakfast yet. Now we get to watch the flip through. Hello everyone, this is Diane. I am going to flip through the Little Red Riding Hood journal with you. It seems like it probably seems like I just finished this in a couple of days, but I was ahead on some of my videos and I was working on days that I wasn't recording more. And so it actually took longer than it seems like to you, but I did get it done and I'm so excited about it. I loved the paper doll wedding one with the pink and blue colors, which you know I love, but I also love rustic woodsy colors and the reds and the browns and the golds. I just love this, and I think this journal has a lot of cute elements and I think you're going to love it. It's a vintage Little Red Riding Hood little golden book, and it will come with these extras. Won't take long to go through them. There's little wrapping paper. I didn't even use this in the journal, but I thought it might go well with what you have here, and a vellum sheet, wrapping paper, a couple pages from a field guide with ferns and mushrooms, and the scrapbook paper scraps and a wallpaper scrap. And I stamped this because I found this stamp after I had finished the journal, and I thought, well, this would have been perfect in it. So I stamped this, and you can put it wherever you would like. Use it as a journaling card, tuck it in a pocket, cut it out, glue it down. Just a little excerpt from a Red Riding Hood story, a red ticket, a digital label, 2 of them. This is a specimen card, a little ephemera tag. This was cut from a field guide. And this is the back of a Little Red Riding Hood doll that was in a book that you were supposed to cut out, glue them, or sew them together and stuff them, but she didn't match. They wouldn't line up, so I wasn't going to make dolls with them, but I don't know what I was going to do. But it didn't match, and I thought, I'll just put it in here because I used the front of her in the book. More tickets. Just a lot of fun things you can use. I did add a lot of beads here. There's one red butterfly. It's the only one I had. And I added red, yellow, brown, and a little bit of green beads to the bottom, or to the spine. It's got this really cute red calico, this brown trim, photo corners, book corners, and I left the back because I love this design. It went really well with the Riding Hood theme we have going here. And then I put together this. It's not a very long one. You can see that the ties are short, but you can just leave it tied and slip it on and off. It needs it. It's a fat one. Has a 2-inch spine. I left this as it is also because I like the color of it. And I put this in the pocket so you could glue that there if you want to cover up the person's name. But just in case you want to leave it, I just left it for you. And I used a lot of reds and browns papers and a little green, I think. And I made a curved pocket here. That's a little fussy digital. And here is a things to buy and things to do list tucked into this pocket. I added a cotton trim to the edge here. A 1941 autograph book page, and you can write on the back of it. It does have someone's little note on it in pencil. And here is a photo of 3 girls. An old photo. And then I had this in my stash. I haven't used this stamp in a long time. I should get it out and use it. But I thought that this just looked like a wood carving, and I thought it was really good for this story, so I put it in here. I made a pocket with that vellum that you saw in your goodie pack, and there's a vintage trim here with a little bit of fringe. This is a tag made with wallpaper. This tag I did on the video, and I stamped these flowers behind her. She is a vintage little girl, and it says Little Red Riding Hood. Came out of an old magazine. And after I stamped the flowers and then I picked her up, I got a thumbprint, a brown ink thumbprint on her. I don't even know I had ink on my thumb, but there it is. So I just added a little flower. It doesn't look like she's holding it. It's just covering up the spot because the spot was ugly and I wanted to use her. So here's the beginning of the Little Red Riding Hood story. And it looks like cross stitch, like a sampler. It's really cute. And this book is from 1948, so it's pretty vintage. But it was in good condition. This one has got a little bit of a crinkle here, and all the corners were frayed. Here's a things to do list page, and the digitals that I used are from Amity Bloom. I'll leave the link to the name of the kit because I can't remember the name of it, but I liked the reds and the creams and the tan colors. And I did use some of the Bloom tape, the Amity Bloom tapes. This one I wrapped around the edge. We have a woven embroidered trim here on a glassine bag. And this is a note paper that has a bear on it. It had someone's name, so I just put that on top. And a Project Life card. And this is a page from a small little book about antique furniture. And the book itself was vintage. I just have clipped here a little note card with a bunny. It's the invitation. And this is Amity Bloom ephemera. Flowers on my mind. And you know, she had flowers on her mind when the wolf convinced her to stop, turn aside from the path. And no, I don't remember. Did the wolf convince her to do that, or did she do it herself? Anyway, she turned from the path to pick flowers. So she had flowers on her mind. That's a recipe card, a vintage recipe card. And these are little flashcards. So she had to come in contact with a big, bad wolf. I didn't have a wolf card, but I found these both in this little pile of flashcards, and I couldn't believe they were both in there. So big and bad. And you can journal on them. There she is, walking on the path through the woods. This is a gift wrap. She has red hair. There's a mushroom. This is vintage ledger and vintage note paper that I glued to the back of the wrapping paper. And there's a cluster that I made. This is a record sheet for a substitute teacher to use, but I like the red color. But I think you get other colors in here too, of other record sheets like that. I did some stamping here with a butterfly and just a background stamp. And there's Mother giving Little Red a basket to take to her grandmother. So the story is not in order in the book, in the journal. I didn't put all the pages in, and they're not in order. Some more stamping here. This is from a storybook. I love that picture. The colors are so cool. There's a little bit of red lace at the top. And this is an antique postcard, and there was something stuck to it. Probably it was stuck into an album, so the date on that stamp is gone. But it is old, and the top was so frayed and torn, bent, I thought it would tear off, so I just reinforced it with some washi tape. And then I added this little craft tag with red reinforcement. I made that with my Big Shot. Another Amity Bloom tape, and a piece of a collage strip, and this beautiful label you can use anywhere or just use it to journal on. This is a vintage ledger, again glued to the back of that wrapping paper. Here's another page from the story. I love this picture. This is a page from another storybook. I just folded up the page and put it in there. You can do what you like with it. Cut out some of the text or cut out the picture. Journal on the margins and leave it as it is. That's for you to decide. This is coffee dyed paper. Here I have a picture of a grandmother. And it's 1948. Look at that porch with all of the white rockers. It's like Cracker Barrel. And then this is a little envelope that had some photos from Rochester. But now it has a book page of Little Red Riding Hood. I was going to cut her out and embellish the envelope with her, but then I thought I'll just put the whole thing in there and you can do what you want with it. Here's another illustration from a very old Little Red Riding Hood story. I think that was from the 30s. And I added a couple strips of Amity Bloom washi tape and added that digital label. And it's on the smaller edge of the glassine bag. And inside this, the bag is an Amity Bloom digital. And this Amity Bloom digital. So the RR stands for Red Riding. That's her name, you know, Red Riding Hood. Here is another old photo, 1933. And I kind of wanted to just do a part of a border cut here, but because it was trying to punch through the photo and the cardstock, it didn't work out well, but I think I like the way that looks, that it's just kind of half done. And because it's a rustic kind of a journal. And then a bear. It's cute. I'll come back and stick that in the pocket. This is another of Amity Bloom's digitals. I backed this journal page with this. It's a smaller design, so there was a white edge. That's why I covered the edges with washi tape. I made a couple of little tags with scraps of paper. This one had trees and this one had owls. So that's perfect. Added some rickrack. These are little digitals. And this says can't judge a book by its cover. This little girl, there's some red pom-pom here. This little girl with the red coat and the red printed dress was from a book. I don't even know what book it was. I just had this picture in my stash. And with the black and white and that bright red, I thought it was great for the Little Red Riding Hood story. There's a little postcard you can write on. And there is a flashcard with a rabbit. I added some Swiss dot tulle and this little flower. And a girl is on the back. She's wearing pink instead of red, but she has a tote bag with her, or a purse. She's cute. Second signature, we have a pocket here with this little girl blowing on a dandelion. And I added a little crochet flower and a little embroidered flower. And I stamped this little border on that piece. This is from a field guide. And this is a dry cleaner's tag. More cotton trim here. And I put some on this edge too, a different one. Here's another Raggedy Ann, Raggedy Ann. I keep wanting to say Raggedy Ann. Red Riding Hood illustration, black and white illustration, and the grandmother is, the wolf is in the bed there, wearing grandmother's bonnet and glasses. And on the back is the Hansel and Gretel story. So you can put pictures or a collage or whatever you'd like there. Just glue a piece of paper that you can write on. This is the Neighborhood Times. This was from a kit that I got at the flea market this year for kids to learn how to make newspapers. There's a cluster that I made. And this is like a weather report paper. It's upside down on that side. This is a stationery piece. I liked the colors, and it does have a monogram on it, so you can cover that part up if you want. This is the front part of that doll, and I just glued her to cardstock so you can write on her, but the back piece did not line up with it at all. Here is from another book, and it's how to make these puppets of Red Riding Hood and the wolf. I made a tuck spot with cardstock and 2 pieces of fabric, and another things to buy and things to do list with some red poppies. Vintage wrapping paper. Here is an old French postcard. And a note paper with a market list. And I made this tag with wallpaper, or wrapping paper. Two more little pockets with scraps that were in my scrap drawer, and this one is 2 pieces sewn together. And I added these little digital pieces, and this is a stamped piece that I made. We have a piece of play money, game money. I guess this goes down here. This book belongs to, with a little bunny. This is a KB and Friends digital. And there's a playing card, a little game card with a squirrel. Here's a playing card with a girl in a red dress. Some vintage skee ball tickets for Six Flags Great Adventure. And a Candyland card. This is computer stationery. I like that folk art patchwork looking pattern around the edge. I cut some images off of one of the pages that I wasn't using just to decorate that white page. There's the wolf hiding in the bed. This is part of the Amity Bloom paper, and so is this. And here is an adorable vintage greeting card. Happy birthday to you, dear granddaughter. But the girl is wearing a red dress. Oh, I guess it's a white dress, but the gingham is overlaid on top of her. But anyway, it's got red all over it. Hope it is a red dress. And I used the cutoff piece from this to cover the back, and I didn't have to, all I had to do was cut the sides. This curve matched perfectly, so you could still see the date, August 12th, 1944. But you can see here residue from the scrapbook glue, where it was glued into a scrapbook, and it was a mess up here, so I covered up most of it. You got a little bit right there, but I wanted to preserve that date for you. And this is just a cutout of a wolf that I had in my digital stuff. And he is from the Red Riding Hood story. I think I must have used the Little Red Riding Hood image in a journal a couple years ago or something. And some more cutouts, and I added the text. A pretty bunch of flowers would surely make your grandmother feel better. Don't you agree, Little Red Riding Hood? So in this story, the wolf does entice her into the woods, so he can hurry on and beat her to grandmother's house. I added this little flower element that I think was for teachers to decorate bulletin boards with. And this is a digital you can journal on. And this is a shadow puppet of a wolf. You can write on the back of it. Just a strip of paper and a vintage applique here. ruffle. This is a digital heart and a digital stamp. There's another craft tag. And this was in my stash. I did pull out my box of ready-made ephemera, and I found the earthy, rustic-looking pieces that would go well. So there's a few in here, and I was able to put a few in the paper doll wedding journal also. But I had some pinks and blues, and I had some rustic. So that was nice to be able to just pull from that. Here is the puppet stage with the dolls that were made, the Red Riding Hood and Wolf dolls. And here's part of a Red Riding Hood story page, and I added this Amity Bloom digital and this little girl cut from an old children's book. Love that. And digital tag and Amity Bloom digital tag. Perfect. Here is that belly band that I did in the other journal, that shaped belly band, which was fun. It's cardstock, and then this was in my ready-made stash, just a cluster embellishment with a sunflower stamp. And this was also in my ready-made embellishments. It's got a squirrel cut from a book, some stamped flowers. And this is from that old book. The one I said was this one. Actually, I'm not sure if it was a little pamphlet that was an advertising promotion or something back in the day. But it has part of the story here in the little girl knocking on grandmother's door. And it's on a red glassine bag. And this tag was also in my ready-made stash. And here's a pretty label that I backed onto black cardstock. Here's a little girl running and playing. I put some washi tape at the top of this pocket and a little digital there. And this is just a card. I just now took this from my scraps, cut it into a tag shape, just so you'd have something to write on. Because I put this postcard with a bear peering into a tourist car. It's an illustration. It is art. But it says, "Hold Up Bear, Yellowstone National Park." And there's no date. It's an unused card. Oh, we have the same story. I had a set of pages from this same book that I had already cut out. I didn't know I put the same picture in there twice. There's another vintage card with red gingham and gift wrap. This one is the washi tape corner with 4 strips of washi and this little girl cut from an old book singing. This is an Amity Bloom digital and Amity Bloom tape with the deer, my favorite one. And I made a card with a tuck spot with these children, and a specimen card is tucked inside. The specimen card is not vintage. And I used why can't I think of that name? It's a strip, collage strip, to make a pocket. And then this is a digital from Amity Bloom, but I like the colors, the little girl with the big hat and the flowers and everything. It must be a copy of a Canasta scorecard. And then this is a little booklet that I made with, it was a page from an old book, and it had the Red Riding Hood story, and it was out of order in blocks on the page, and apparently the child was supposed to determine what order it would go in. So I had to decide what order to put them in. So it does tell the story in pictures, and there is a little flower. They're not lined up great to have the flowers on the back. The wolf accosts her. She goes to the house, and there's the wolf. And he scares her. And they're all is well, and there's the woodcutter and the grandmother. And it says the end on the last page. Just a fun little booklet. I love this picture too. This is a painted paper, and I made a tab for it. And there's another plans sheet. This is a Tim Holtz card. And another 1940. Yep, this one says 40. Autograph page. This is a computer paper with ivy and a fabric cluster. More vintage tickets. It says, drop this stub in the box. Keep this ticket. This is scrapbook paper with a vintage piece of trim. And this was in my ready-made box. And 2 photographs. A little girl. She could be Red Riding Hood. And that could be the huntsman. We already had the grandmother. So you have quite a few vintage photos in this journal. Did I say wood hunter? Wood cutter. I don't know what I said. Some fabric tape. That's Tim Holtz fabric tape. And just a strip of another washi. And I made this slide. It's a slide mount. It's a vintage slide mount, and I put this acetate with the pretty flowers in it. And these are little digital pieces that I had cut out. This is a piece of ephemera that was in an ephemera pack from Hobby Lobby, I think. That's an Amity Bloom digital, that doily, and another little digital with the little blonde girl and the little fawn. Here is a double page from a calendar or memoranda book, vintage, and a mushroom page from the field guide book. Some more Amity Bloom washi. And I made this pocket with a scrap of scrapbook paper, and I stamped this stamp on it and added a little brad up there. And this strip is just a memo for you to write on. A digital label, an Amity Bloom digital, and a vintage playing card. And the other side of the glassine bag has Amity Bloom digital strips, and also this one. It's a tag. The strip is this big, so that's part of the tag here, but I centered it. I think it looks good. And a vintage owl applique. The other side of the greeting card. I think I had this page in here twice too. Amity Bloom washi, but this is not. And on the last page, we have this pocket that I made with a die that I have. Added some digital labels. And I have this coffee dyed tag that I stuck in here. And these were also from the ephemera packs from Hobby Lobby. And this is a page from a storybook. It's a very big wolf. I backed it with coffee dyed paper so you can write on it. We have a pocket on the back cover with, I think that's an Amity Bloom digital, and another ephemera piece. And this card tag was in my stash, ready-made stash. So there we have it. I love this journal. It is so sweet. And I hope you love it too. It will come with this pack and this tie, and it's ready to ship to you. And it will be in my shop. I did it again. I always just jump right in without telling you when it's going to be in my shop. So this journal will be in my shop at 3 p.m. on Thursday, which is the day this video will be on my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Have a creative day. Bye-bye.